This is 312, the HRP Podcast. And boy, is it hot out there. And it feels like it's only going to get hotter. On this episode of 312, we are talking with HRP's Jessica Reece about heat safety and about fire safety. Jessica, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Excellent. Can you remind all the folks out there about what your role here is at HRP?
So I'm the Corporate Health and Safety Officer here. I'm stationed in Greenville, South Carolina. I report into the Farmington office. So mainly at the end of the day, if you're coming in with 10 fingers or 10 toes, then we're wanting you to go home with 10 fingers and 10 toes.
And what can you tell us from an overview perspective about heat safety, fire prevention safety, some of those related topics before we start diving into the details on them?
So here lately, one of the popular topics is heat because the temperatures have been rising and all the offices have been getting several heat advisories. So we want to make sure before we're sending our employees out in the field working out in that heat, that they know how to recognize heat illnesses and also how to prevent some type of heat illness and trying to stay cool throughout the day. And with that, when you think of heat, you might think of fire. And so for the month of July, we're actually doing a monthly health and safety topic for fire safety. And we're just wanting to make sure that our employees know what to do as far as if a fire was to occur and how to prevent fires from occurring. Yeah, so it's all about just promoting that safety for heat illnesses and for fire safety.
What are some of the ways that HRP is committed to heat safety?
So one thing that we've done earlier this year was do a risk assessment of each HRP office just to see as far as if heat advisory was going to be a risk to those offices, whether if they're low, medium, or high risk. So obviously here lately, it seems like couple offices are at medium risk and maybe 2 or 3 of the offices are at high risk of some type of heat illness. So going back to one of the things that we done earlier this year was provide some type of cooling material. So some of the examples that we handed out was cooling shirts and cooling sleeves. Also cooling hats. I think they are called Ranger hats. They look pretty cool. We also provided cooling towels and also some sunscreen too for the fair skin employees.
Like me. So one of the other, I think, recommended tips for dealing with heat safety is hydration and just taking breaks. What can you tell us about that?
So just depending on how long you're going to be working out there in the field when it's the heat, we have provided heat index cards. All the employees should have it, but just going by that and also paying attention to what the temperatures are going to be, what the weather is going to be. We want to make sure that our employees stay hydrated out in the field. So one of the things that we do provide for them is water bottles and making sure that they are stocked up on water. And if they're not a big fan of water, we make sure that they have some type of electric lights with them, such as Gatorade. Also, just depending on how long they're going to be out there working in the heat, we do encourage the breaks, multiple breaks. And we also encourage the employees, and while they're taking their break, they can go back to their vehicle, turn on the AC or find some type of shaded area as well.
Yeah, I'm a big water fan. Love some water. But let's talk more about those breaks. What are like the work limits and what's recommended when it comes to breaks?
So if we're going to go by the heat index card and the recommendation that we actually just covered through HAZWOPER, if you're going to be working about maybe 6 to 8 hours in the heat, the temperature, let's just say that it's 98 or 99 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty hot, right? Especially wearing some type of PPE, it can make it even hotter. We want to make sure that the employees are taking breaks between 10 to 15 minutes while they're working out there in the heat.
So what's recommended for recognizing and responding to heat illness?
Well, first, we want to make sure that we can recognize when we see heat illnesses. So some of the early symptoms as far as heat illness goes, headache, nausea, dizziness. Maybe the person feels weakness or their muscles starting to cramp up, which just to give you a good example, I just installed my above ground pool about a month or 2 ago. It was probably about 100 degrees out. I was probably 2 hours in installing the pool. And right towards the end, my thumb started cramping up and there was nothing I can do about it. I tried pulling my thumb back and it still wouldn't work. So that was just an example of what can happen if we're not paying attention to the heat or to the symptoms of heat illnesses.
Mm-hmm. What are the medical emergency signs?
As far as the medical emergency signs goes, you may experience some type of slurred speech, seizures. I've seen that in the past before, fainting, abnormal behavior or confusion, and your skin, it might become a little bit dry. And then you can also have a loss of consciousness too, as well.
And what immediate actions should people take when these medical emergency signs are being observed?
Call 911. When you do call 911, they're going to instruct you to get that person to a cooler area if it is safe to do so. And at the same time, if they can, try to give them water, cool them off by putting water on them and starting to remove some of their outer clothing.
Is there anything you shouldn't do that might occur to somebody, but then turns out it's actually really bad to do that?
Yep. So just don't attempt to cover in ice immediately, as this could send the person into shock and make them ill. So once they start to cool down, then you can start applying ice and giving them a little bit more of ice cold water.
Just always remember to stay with them until help arrives, right?
Yep.
Now, sometimes you've got workers who are more vulnerable than others. Who would those folks be?
One, that's going to be your pregnant workers. So they are more susceptible to dehydration and definitely overheating. Workplace accommodations and cooling strategies are crucial. So when we say make sure that you're staying stocked with water, definitely make sure you have water. Definitely make sure that you're constantly taking those breaks, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Limit yourself out there too as well. And some others that can be at high risk can be those individuals who like to consume alcohol and drugs. Hopefully that they're not doing that. But it can also make them sweat more too if you're drinking alcohol and doing drugs. And then anybody with diabetes, heart disease, even taking certain type of medications, that can definitely put you at higher risk. And then just overall, that people that's not fully used to the heat or physically fit to be in the heat.
Okay, so let's say you're someone like me who's, out of shape, sweaty, maybe partied a little too hard Sunday night. It's Monday morning, you're out on the job. You're sorting through the symptoms here because, someone like me, headache, nausea, dizziness, confusion, those are just standard morning stuff for me. But we're trying to assess if I am having some kind of heat-related safety issue. Are there any kind of tools or tech that people might be able to use to help make sure they're making a good call here or help inform their decision-making?
Yeah, one thing that HRP encourages is, for one, the buddy system. So we want to make sure that we're monitoring each other and we actually know the signs of heat illnesses. And then another thing that we can also use and that I actually recommend is the OSHA NIOSH Heat Safety Tool app. It tracks the real time of the heat index, and it also will give the recommendations of when you can take those breaks as well.
All right, so we've covered a whole bunch of really useful information here when it comes to heat safety, but we're also here to talk about fire safety. I want to talk about vehicle fire safety specifically now. And I personally have never had a company vehicle catch fire. I don't know if you, Jessica, have you ever burnt down a company vehicle?
Thankfully not.
Okay, I think we've managed to avoid that so far here at HRP, but just in case, what are the recommended steps for if the car catches fire?
Well, hopefully we can continue not to have vehicle fires, but just
let's get through the week,
Yeah,
it's only Thursday.
You never know, right? So just in case there is a vehicle fire, you want to make sure that you, for one, definitely pull over, but make sure that it's safe to do so. And right when you pull over, you want to quickly turn off your engine and get out immediately, which that's going to be your number one priority, is to get out of the vehicle. One thing that people tend to do, which is a no-no, is open the hood or the trunk, because once you do that, it can actually feed the fire. It will fuel the flames. Another thing to do is definitely call 911. That's something that I would do right when I got out of the vehicle, but also at the same time, making sure that I'm staying away from that vehicle, which is about 100 feet from that vehicle.
Okay, can you tell us about the fire triangle?
So the fire triangle, what actually makes up a fire? There's three things. One's heat, obviously, and then the fuel and oxygen. But if you remove one of them, you can actually extinguish it.
So it's like the fire needs all three of these in order to maintain being fire.
Yes, correct.
Gotcha. Okay, we're going to move on. So recently we had extinguishers added to the company vehicles. Am I right there?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. And so fires have different fire classifications. And we're talking about extinguishers or putting them out. We kind of want to know your fire type so that we can use the correct extinguisher. And I guess they're grouped into classes. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you're using the correct fire extinguisher for the type of fire that there is. So we got multiple classes. We have Class A, which Class A is for anything that's paper, wood, trash, anything that's your solid or combustibles, that's your Class A. So you can use wet chemical extinguisher or water extinguisher, maybe even a powder extinguisher or foam extinguisher for Class A's. Moving on to Class B, that is going to be for your flammable liquids or gases. So you can definitely use your powder extinguisher, foam extinguisher, or even a CO2 fire extinguisher in certain cases. There's also a Class C, which is for your electrical fires. And you want to make sure that you're using a powder fire extinguisher. So maybe a CO2 extinguisher could put out an electrical fire. When I was working back in the automotive business, I was working with 340 time presses, which melted down resin, and electrical built majority of those types of presses. So when a fire would occur, which happened all the time, and I want to say daily, and I'm not exaggerating when I say daily fires on the presses, ABC fire extinguishers wouldn't put them out. Only CO2 fire extinguishers would put them fires out just because they were electrical. So again, it's very important to use the right type of fire extinguisher. There's also a Class D, which is for your combustible metals. Maybe an example to give is your magnesiums. And you want to use a dry powder fire extinguisher to put those combustibles out or combustible metals. Lastly, you have a Class K. That's going to be for your cooking, grease fires. So you want to have a Class K in your kitchen. And this type of fire extinguisher is a wet chemical fire extinguisher.
So we talked about extinguishers. If there's an extinguisher out, we know there's a fire. We're probably into emergency procedures right now. Jessica, what do we do? What are our emergency procedures if it's a big fire, a serious fire?
All right, so before a fire breaks out, you want to know where your emergency escape route is, and that is posted on your emergency evacuation map, which is probably near an exterior door in your office. You also want to know beforehand where your rally points are. So if there was a large fire to occur, you had to evacuate. Everybody needs to meet up at that rally point so everybody can account for each other.
Awesome. So we know what we need to do. We have to have like in our head before something happens. But we're in the event now and it's a big blaze. What do we do?
For when alarm others by either pulling the fire alarm or using an air horn, you definitely want to evacuate immediately. So that's exactly why you should know what your escape route is. At the same time, when you're evacuating, do not stop and grab your personal items. Don't be on your phone. Don't reach out on social media or anything like that. Just get to the rally point. That way you can contact 911.
All right, so that's for a big fire. What about for a smaller fire? What should we do?
For smaller fires, if you're trained on a fire extinguisher and you are comfortable of using a fire extinguisher and you know that you can control that fire by using a fire extinguisher, you can extinguish that fire yourself by using a fire extinguisher that's in your area.
So I always thought that like a fire extinguisher was just there for whoever needed it, but you need to be trained before you use one of those to fight a fire?
You do have to be trained, and you are not required to be trained. Again, if you're feeling comfortable, know how to use a fire extinguisher, you can. It's more of a volunteer type use. And one of the things that you'll learn about the fire extinguisher is the PASS system, which is the acronym PASS. And what that is P, pull the pin, A, aim at the base of the fire, S, squeeze the handle, and then lastly, the last S is sweep side to side at the base of the fire. And that's your PASS system.
And this is for just small fires, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. So not everything we do is office bound. We're out in the field plenty of times. So I think it is safe to say we need to have some wildfire awareness as well. What can you tell us about that?
Wildfires, so for one thing, you want to know what causes a wildfire. And it's a combination between natural and human factors. Natural causes include lightning strikes and so on. Now, those human factors are something that we can prevent from happening.
What prevention tips have you got for us?
I would say, for one, definitely don't throw cigarettes out of the vehicle. You never want to leave campfires or charcoal unattended, especially on windy days. And speaking of windy days, maybe not burn leaves or have some type of campfire if the wind's going to be up. So you should be paying attention to your local weather too as well. And then also use burn barrels only if it's legal and properly covered at that time. Now, if there's a red flag warning in your area that was issued from the National Weather Service, you don't want to do any type of fire whatsoever outside.
And those are our tips, but what other fire prevention practices are there?
One, practicing good housekeeping. So keeping your work areas tidy, meaning avoid clutter, especially near the electrical panels or heaters. Reporting and fixing any type of leak, such as a gas leak. If there's some type of unusual smell or frayed wires or overloaded outlets, you definitely want to make sure that you're reporting and fixing those immediately. Kitchen appliances, make sure that we're turning them off when we're not using them. And then also following smoking rules and safe storage practices for flammable materials is one.
So bringing it back into the very specific HRP context, can you give us kind of an overview of the fire protection equipment we would have here?
Some of the fire protections that HRP has in place is the alarm systems. So every HRP office is equipped with a fire alarm. And then as our backup, we also have an air horn as well. And we got an air horn that is provided in the company vehicles. We have sprinkler systems in place. We also have fire extinguishers that are mounted throughout the office area. We actually carry them in the company vehicles as well. So those are just a few examples of fire protection that we have.
So Jessica, kind of wrap up here. What is it the HRP provides when it comes to training and resources, making sure our employees know what they need to know and are able to do what they need to do to be safe in these situations?
Yeah, so we have a fire prevention program, and that training is provided on onboarding. And also we do an annual refresher on fire prevention. And so when we go through the fire prevention, we go through emergency actions. We go through what can cause a fire. So what are the hazards? We also go through some criteria that's included in with the health and safety permits and along with the safe work permits. And all this information can be found on Hike under the corporate health and safety.
And I guess to wrap it up here, can you just highlight again for us why it's so important to know this stuff, why it matters?
Fire safety and heat illness are both critical concerns with potential for serious injury or even death if not properly addressed. So definitely knowing those fire prevention tips and those fire safety measures is going to reduce the risk of fires and their effects. And also while understanding and preventing heat illnesses, it can protect all of us from some type of serious health consequences, which we don't want to have.
All right, folks, it's not all fun in the sun out there this summer. We got to remember to stay safe. So remember these heat safety and fire prevention tips. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us in this episode of 312.
Thanks.
All right, folks, be sure to stick around for Play Hard section of the podcast coming up now, where we are out there grilling with folks in the Farmington office, asking them what their summer vacation plans are. Jessica, what are your summer vacation plans?
I just installed my above ground pool, which was very difficult. So I'm definitely going to be utilizing that pool.
All right, get out there, enjoy that pool. Hey everybody, welcome to the Play Hard section of the 312 podcast. You're joining us from Work Hard, where we talk to Jessica Reece about fire and heat safety, and now we are out in the summer heat, in the summer sun, asking people what they are doing for their summer vacation. We're joined by Nate Pisani, HRP Zone Nate Pisani. Nate, tell us what you do here.
Let's see. Well, I am a field tech, so I primarily work outside. So this is kind of a nice chance to escape the heat. We're sitting in some shade, drinking a nice, vodka soda.
Vodka soda for you.
Knockoff High Noon.
Stella for me.
Oh, yeah. Living the life.
Exactly. So, asking people what the summer vacation plans are. Nate, what are you going to be doing with your summer?
Let's see. For the rest of the summer, I know August, my roommates and I, we've been trying to go camping for a while, and we found a spot in northern Connecticut, kind of in between the Boston, where some of my friends live, Connecticut, Farmington area. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go camping, have a nice little, I think like 4 days out in the woods.
Nice.
Just drinking beers.
Are you driving in or backpacking in?
We're driving to the beginning of the trail, and then we're going to backpack in. I think it's like 4 miles.
Okay,
into
it's not bad. So you're
camping.
already going to be in the woods.
We're going to be in the woods.
Nice.
Which will be nice, because that's going to be my first time real
Like
woods
actually
camping.
like woods camping?
Like going
Okay.
backpacking woods camping, yeah.
Now, is somebody with you guys prepared for that?
I've actually prepared and have all the gear. I just haven't used it yet. So I will be practicing, setting up my tent and the other accoutrements. But
Like most importantly, though, you guys are
we
bear
have,
safety.
we have bear.
Yes.
We have a couple of my friends they've gone on camped out in Yosemite and
nice.
Actually, when they were there, they did have a run-in with like a grizzly bear.
Okay.
So
well, they made it though, so
they
that's
made
a good
it. Yeah,
track
he
record
just made a lot of
already.
noise and warned the campsite next door. Like he made hey, points right over there. It's like 50 feet away.
Yeah.
Huge bear. But yeah.
That's actually my summer vacation. I'm going to Yosemite.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
In a couple weeks. Yeah.
Oh, well, you got anything fun planned out there?
I am going to try to hike Half Dome. For those who don't know, Half Dome is like considered to be probably the most difficult non-technical hike anywhere.
I would probably agree with that. I think it would definitely be one of the most difficult hikes that doesn't, because like the rock scramble on it is borderline rock climbing.
It's a 55% grade for
it is
400 feet.
It's not easy.
That's been worn smooth by hundreds of people over every day. But like that's not the it's the fact that you don't get to that until you've done a 9-mile hike.
Oh, it's not.
With
it's
like
not
a
easy.
4,000 foot elevation. Actually, like 5,000 foot elevation gain.
I was in Yosemite, it was a couple years ago, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. We did, my favorite part was actually, if you can, go to the Sequoia.
Yeah.
Go check
Mariposa
out the
Grove?
Sequoias.
Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Okay.
And you're just going to be blown away about those trees. They are so big. But if you take any pictures of the trees, what you need to do is you need to have someone stand on the trunk of one of them.
Yeah,
by
you need
the trunk.
scale. Yeah.
Because every picture I took one picture of my sister standing by it, and it was the only picture that showed the true scale of those trees.
Yeah.
Like she's like 5'6", and bottom of the frame. Everything else was just tree.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Well, Nate, thanks so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. We are back again. This time we are with Noah. Noah, what do you do? Where do you work? Who are you?
I'm Noah Zaffino. I'm out of the New York office. I'm a Geo senior project consultant,
Nice.
recently promoted,
Oh, yeah. Nice. I didn't know that. Awesome.
and mostly DEC work.
Okay. New York State Department of
Environmental.
Environmental Conservation.
Yep, nailed it.
Nice. They don't like tack on energy to the end of that or something? Is that just in Connecticut?
I think that's just in Connecticut.
Okay.
If they do it in New York, I haven't seen it.
We don't do the energy part. All right. So what are your summer plans? What are you going to do to have fun in this nice weather we're having?
I like to just get out, play some disc golf with some friends.
Nice.
Drink some margaritas,
Yep.
Mexican food. There's a Renaissance Festival coming up, which
Nice.
will be a good time.
Oh, yeah. Which one's that? Which Renaissance Festival's that?
It's the Sterling Renaissance Festival. It's out in the Syracuse area.
Oh, you're heading out there for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Why, is that like a really big one or something?
It's the one I grew up with. So
Oh, okay. So you're from Syracuse?
I'm from the Utica area,
Okay.
so
Syracuse is pretty far away, isn't it?
it's about an hour drive from Utica.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay, yeah, once you're up there. Cool. How'd you get from there to Clifton Park?
Well, after undergrad, I went to grad school in North Carolina, and then I wanted to come back home because I like New York.
Yeah.
And a friend from undergrad, Sarah Dial, worked out of the New York office.
Yep.
And I figured I'd reach out and be like, hey, are you guys hiring? And she said, yeah. And I had 3 quick interviews, and they hired me on.
Nice.
And I've been here since. It's been 2 years.
Cool. Awesome. And already a senior consultant.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So like, what's a normal like summer outing for you look like? Have you had any big trips, vacations in the past that stand out?
Nothing normal for summer. My family's big into skiing, so we're big on the winter, but recently purchased a motorcycle, so I've been doing that, just riding every weekend.
What kind of motorcycle?
It's a Honda Rebel 500.
Okay.
So
I don't know anything about motorcycles.
It's just a little cruiser, nothing too fast.
It's just
comfy, and it's built for someone short.
Okay, nice. All right, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Okay, ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, Chelsea, tell us who you are, what you do at HRP.
Hello, everyone. I am Chelsea Thompson, and I am an environmental sustainability and occupational health and safety consultant at HRP.
And how long have you been with us?
Like 6 weeks now.
Nice.
So fairly new.
How are you liking it?
It's amazing. As you can see, we're at a barbecue, so I can't ask for anything better, can I?
So we're asking people what their summer vacation plans are, what they've done in the past. What is fun in the sun in summertime look like for you?
Fun in the sun. Well, this summer, I just recently went on a trip to the Hamptons. That was a really good time. We went to a few wineries. We went to the beach. The beaches are beautiful there.
Okay, yeah.
And we had good food.
What'd you eat?
Ooh, I actually had oysters at one of the places that I went to.
Okay. And what do you think? You a fan?
I am a fan. They had it in some type of Thai green curry.
Oh, okay.
And
Not raw?
No.
Okay.
I don't think I would eat raw oysters.
Can you do raw oyster? It's my favorite. I love raw oysters.
Oh.
So good. It's so
We're
good.
not the same. Yeah, that was the first time that I'd had oysters prepared like that, because they're either usually like really smoky or really plain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So aside from Hamptons, like, what do you usually do in the summer? What do you like to do? What do you like to do to get outside, or you just never go outside?
Oh no, I go outside. I go for walks.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm a cardio girl.
No.
No.
Okay.
I when I go to the gym, there's no treadmill, no Stairmaster.
Okay. None of that.
So it's the same when I go outdoors. Flat surfaces. I'll walk around my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then I'll get active socially. So if my friends invite me to like play soccer or something, I'll do it, and I'll get super winded. But that's about it for outdoors, and maybe like a picnic. I'm more of a picnic girly.
Okay. What's the gym routine look like? You got a split that you like?
Oh. I do hip thrusts.
Okay.
Yes. I do dips. Well, it depends.
Okay.
I don't think I'm as organized as most people. So I don't have like I'll separate my days by at least twos. Like 2 days will pass 48 hours.
Okay.
But I skip a lot of gym days, so it's not like I'll go and do all chest, all back, all everything. No, I'm consistent with my legs, but I'll throw in whatever else I feel like, depending on when I feel like it's due.
How many days in the gym we actually talking here? Like per week? Or is months a better measurement? What are we talking?
Okay, since I moved, I've been slacking.
Sure, understandable.
But
yeah.
I'd say before I moved and when I get back into it, it's like 2 or 3 times a week. So
okay, that's good. That's good.
That's not terrible.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Gotta have a good recovery period.
Yeah, my friends laugh at me because when I first made my gym routine, I was making my daily schedule in general, and I allotted 20 minutes for the gym, and they all laughed at me.
You gotta really hit it.
I left 2 hours later.
I do so much like TikTok research of like, what is the shortest amount of time I have to be in the gym to see results?
So what's your gym routine?
I do like a push-pull legs split. I run almost every day though, so I don't do legs.
Oh,
except maybe like once a month, so it's just push-pull.
Yeah?
So it's like one day is chest, triceps, and shoulders, and the other day is biceps and back.
Give me some lower trap exercises.
I mean, for me, the only thing I really care about with the traps is, I don't know what it's called.
To demonstrate?
but it's like you've got like the cable behind you, and then you're like,
And that does traps?
oh yeah. I forget what it's called, but you gotta have your arms out like here behind you, and then that's a good one. That hits everything.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's the one you gotta
Like
do.
shoulders and everything?
Well, no, that hits all of the heads of the traps. No, not the traps. Sorry, the triceps. Did you ask for traps or triceps?
Traps.
I messed up. I was so like,
You're gonna
I'm
set
so
me up for
excited to
failure.
tell people about my tricep routine.
Well, let me hear about the tricep routine.
That was it.
Oh, that's
So traps. I don't know. I don't really hit traps that much. I guess you do shoulder shrugs
okay.
for traps.
Because I'm in my
Grab two
posture
kettlebells and just
era.
like that.
That's
a
upper
kettlebell in each arm. Yeah. Well, you want lower traps?
Lower traps, because if you over rely on your upper traps,
Yeah.
then you start to have like neck problems.
That's
So-
true. That must be it. That's why I got all those neck problems.
You're
That and I've been doing
in
crunches,
the
just
gym
grabbing the
doing
back of my
this.
head. Yeah. That's a real move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's your only move, you're gonna have no back muscles.
That's true.
Straight neck muscles.
Yeah. Straight neck. Hey, did you see that picture of that one guy, his
Yeah.
mugshot where he was just all neck? Have you
Yeah.
ever seen that? That just popped up in my head again. That was a crazy photo.
That was like 3 years ago.
Was it 3 years ago?
Yeah,
I guess
time's
so.
flying.
Yeah. It's the thickest neck I think anyone's ever had.
This-
Wild.
What are your summer plans?
I'm going to Yosemite in about 2 weeks, and then San Francisco right after that.
Oh my gosh.
And then
how
I have a
long-
work trip to Chicago immediately after this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you don't get burnt out?
I'm already burnt out, but
Okay.
we're just gonna go anyway, you know. Just gotta
Yeah.
power through.
You gotta designate at least a day to relax.
Yeah, you got to do nothing, just sit around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's that timeline looking like? Is it a week each or less?
It's like 4 days in Yosemite, and the
Okay.
4th day I'm going to San Francisco, and then 3 days in San Francisco, and then I fly back, and I have like maybe 14 hours before I have to fly out to Chicago.
Oh,
Yeah.
here. So you're going back home for a little minute. You're going back home for a little minute.
Yeah, I'm
before-
coming back here for a very brief time.
That's good, because then you don't have to carry so many things with
No,
you.
there was no way. Because
Yeah.
like it's a work trip. It's like a conference. I'd have to have
Yeah?
like suits with me
What's
while I'm
the
hiking
conference about?
Yosemite. It's the Brownfields Conference, the National Brownfields Conference.
Oh, is that what we got the email about today?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, Brownfield, are you familiar with the Brownfields program?
In general?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like where certain businesses get funding to develop on certain land.
It's like
Or-
whenever there's like structures, buildings, properties that are unused and are like a threat to the community or stymieing development, and there's no real funding to get like environmental assessments done or cleanup done on them, you can apply to the EPA's Brownfields funding program
Yeah.
and get like hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars in funding to
Yeah.
start addressing the concerns there. So it's an area that HRP like helps communities with, because that's kind of developing work that we can then help with later on.
Addressing the concerns like remediating, or then you own the land and then you start to.
Well, it's
do what you
usually
want?
like municipally owned, and what you do is you can like, if you have, this is a danger to your community, so you can apply for like an assessment grant, which is like $500,000 to do phase 1, phase 2 investigations, figure out what's going on, and develop like a plan for cleanup, which then you go back and ask for like another, $500,000 to $1 million or more to actually do the remediation work.
Okay. So before you explained all that, in my head, I thought it was somewhat of a business deal where it was like for people who are trying to develop, trying to get cheap land.
Well, you
And,
need a developer for sure. Like, unless there's a developer who's going to do something with the property afterwards, then it's just like kind of all for nothing. It's
Yeah.
like dumping a bunch of federal money in. We can do all our work and get paid, but like, it's not going to go anywhere unless someone wants to develop the property afterwards. So,
So
at
if someone
HRP,
develops it, they'll pay HRP?
no, we get paid, like the municipality that gets the funding would pay us to do the phase 1 and the phase 2, would pay us as part of their cleanup and remediation. But these programs can't really move forward unless someone's going to do something with the land. So we look for different communities to work with where that's going to become something further down the line. Otherwise, it's just like doing phase 1 after phase 1.
Yeah.
We don't make any money. the community's not going to be able to do anything with
Yeah.
it, you know. So we try to like look for that holistic package that we can help different communities
That's really
with.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a really fun thing to work with, and it's really inspiring.
How how frequently do we as HRP work on brownfields?
We've always got different brownfield projects going.
Yeah?
Yeah. We've had it's principally for our New York office, but we do it kind of across the board, a lot in Connecticut, and we're still trying to develop it in the Carolinas too.
Are there more in New York?
New York has a lot of them because it has like a post-industrial past there between like the Erie Canal and all of the manufacturing that was sent overseas. Like there's just community after community that had like its industrial base gutted, so there's just no economic driver to the town, but there's still all of these, you know, people living there trying to, you know, get by.
Okay.
So they're turning them into stuff like chip manufacturing facilities now. That was a big deal for them. And like the Chobani factory up there too.
Chobani?
Chobani. Yogurt.
I don't eat yogurt.
You know yogurt? You don't know Chobani?
I don't know. It's
Chobani
a
Greek
texture
yogurt.
thing.
I know. I keep buying yogurt thinking I'm going to be healthy, and then it just sits in my fridge because
it's so
I don't want to
weird
eat snot in the morning. You know?
I feel like a baby. But yeah, thank you for teaching me about brownfields.
Hey, you got it.
Thank you for inquiring about my Hamptons trip.
Thank you for being on the podcast.
Yeah, of course. Hello to everybody on the podcast.
Hey. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of 312. Make sure to like, subscribe. You can find the links to any of the information we talked about down below. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody. Stay safe in the sun.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.